Ujambo, jina langu, Wezekana. How's everyone doing? Hope everything is fine. I hope this meets and greets the people in the fullness of health and prosperity. That's what we want for the people. I wanted to talk a little bit about, we're dealing with this pig flu thing and viruses and colds. Cold and flu season is coming anyway, so the pig flu really ain't that big a goddamn deal, but we're still dealing with the human body on its own individual level. So we're trying to use herbs to complement the body instead of antibacterials or antibiotics to actually kill the body and kill whatever's in the body, because you're killing your immune system also when you take the antibiotics. So I just wanted to run through a list of some herbs that are good for you right about now. Everybody talk about echinacea, and echinacea is a very, very potent herb. It's good for you. It boosts the immune system. Basically, when we say we're boosting the immune system, what happens is you have a herb that is introduced into the body and is greeted by the body as an irritant. Okay, so the body sends out its white blood cells. Says this thing is in here. We need to get rid of this. You send out all these white blood cells. They come up against it. They find out it's a little plant. They basically have no problem kicking it out, and so now you're walking around with this big, huge, strong immune system. So echinacea works in that way. It also has what's called properdin. This is a chemical that's found in it, which activates the immune system. I would say be careful with echinacea because it does deplete your copper levels after about 7 days. So if you're drinking echinacea tea and you're drinking it more than 7 days, you want to stop, give yourself 3 days off to build up your copper reserves. You need copper inside your body, and echinacea actually depletes those in about 7 days, so be careful with that. Garlic. Garlic contains allicin, a potent broad-spectrum antibiotic. Its aromatic compounds are released into the lungs, combating infections. They are making it extremely effective against upper respiratory infections. Next on the list, we got ginger. Ginger contains sesquiterpenes. I don't know what that is, but ginger works really good on bacteria and things like that. Works against cold viruses. I do want to caution, you should have you some ginger. You should have your piece of ginger, put it in your tea or whatever it may be. This is what I'm talking about. These herbs are for teas. But pregnant women, I want you to be careful with ginger, because ginger in large quantities is an aborticide. Okay, I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that, but you do need to know this. You eat mad quantity of ginger and you could possibly lose your fetus. It takes a lot of ginger to have that happen, but people have been doing this in China and places like that for thousands of years, so you just need to be aware. Black elderberry, Sambucus nigra. This is my bread and butter as far as my herbs are concerned. I have 8 children. My children are not immunized and they're not going to be sticking them with no needles and nothing like that, but my children have been very healthy. We're very fortunate that we have these plants around and that are growing. Black elderberry contains compounds that are active against flu viruses. I feel like Dr. Sebi on this one. The plant is so beneficial to the body during cold and flu season. Delicious too. If you recall, when we were little, he used to give us Sambucol. It was like a syrup fashioned from elderberries, and it was a cure-all basically for cold and flu. The same can be said today. Elderberries are first in my arsenal against bacterial infection and for an all-around toner of the immune system. I depend on elderberries all day long. It's the best stuff in the world to me. Onion, once again, we're talking basically garlic. They're the same family, same plant. Aromatic, combats upper respiratory illnesses, packed with vitamin C. I make a slurry of chopped onions and garlic, put it in water, put it in a sealable jar, and I change that every 4 to 6 days and take about a teaspoon or so of it, just the water itself, and drink that. You got red eye, what's that? What they got? Pink eye. Take you a dropper, garlic water, onion water, drop it in your eye. You ain't got pink eye no more. Do you have a ear infection? Take your garlic water, your onion water, drop it in the ear. You ain't got no ear infection no more. Onion and garlic is very good for that. And there's a study done also, I want you to know, there's a study done in people who are centurions, people who have lived over the age of 100. And what they're finding out is that they were trying to find similarities in their lifestyles and things like that. And one thing that they found out which was very few and far between. The things that they found out was the one thing that they did was they had a clove of garlic every day. So everybody, let's get a clove of garlic in your butt. Not in your butt, but get you a clove of garlic, and let's laugh about this in another 100 years or so. Anise. Anise seed is a potent expectorant. You know, they used to use it to provide licorice flavor. So this is what they use for licorice flavor in a lot of the candies. This herb will make your nose run profusely. I'm talking about water just coming out, because it's coming up from the lungs. It actually sparks all of the activity in your lungs, sends out the mucus, and gets rid of it. So it's coming up out your nose. I wouldn't take it before I go to bed. I'd take it when I got up in the morning, let that snot go and run, and then so I could sleep at night. I wouldn't mess with the anise after midday, because it really gets the nose going. You need that. You need to get infected phlegm out of your body. So that's what that's good for. Marshmallow is for the throat. Antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. Basically, if you have a throat, if your throat is, you have a cough or a cold and you've been coughing your brains out, your throat is going to be affected adversely. Marshmallow helps with that. People say, and they talk about slippery elm bark being real good too. But I don't support that, because with slippery elm bark, when they getting the bark, they're cutting down the whole tree. They're destroying a whole tree so they can have profits. And so forget about slippery elm bark. Don't use it. Don't buy it unless you see your slippery elm tree and you go get a little bark and let the tree alone. So anyway, marshmallow works good on that. Another one is mullein for the throat. It's also an expectorant, which means that it helps you to cough up mucus. It's a mucilaginous. So it's comprised of mucilage and softens the throat. It's analgesic. So basically it's a pain reducer or a pain reliever. Mullein. This is a little plant that grows just about everywhere. It contains compounds that inhibit flu viruses. Helps you cough up sticky phlegm. It's been used for respiratory ailments for thousands of years. It contains what are known as tannins. And tannins are substances that constrict tissues and reduce oozing and bleeding from wounds. So tannins are like things like you find it in witch hazel. Witch hazel will take bruises off your eye. It takes the bruises out your skin. It's tightening up the pores and the muscles and the tissue itself, so making it better, tighter, and able to hold in its nutrient better.